Well, welcome in to the podcast. We're going to shift it up a little bit. I'm going to maybe do some more flows at some point, but like for now, I want to really, share why I'm doing this. Like really what it is that I want from you. And that is, I want to live in a world where I can feel safe and at ease without having my own tension about someone else possibly having tension. So relaxed in that sense as well. To trust that others are in control of themselves. And I don't think I'm that different than anybody else, right? So what I've decided to do is we're going to become friends. You're now going to be my friend, where I'm going to share with you who I am, because I want to get to know you, and I want if you share with me, but before I can expect anything of you, I'm going to offer something. And oh man, I got a lot of stuff to offer. I got stories, I got ideas, and I weave them together, and hopefully we stay on track a decent amount. But if we go off track, I'll at least make it entertaining. We'll say that. I did have one friend once tell me it's very frustrating listening to me talk because he wants to know what I was originally talking about, but all of the tangents are just so darned entertaining that he doesn't want to stop me. So you guys are going to be able to have that experience. Isn't that fun? My best feelings that I have from using my phone are when I am able to open up, say WhatsApp is what I use a lot, and have a voicey from a friend that I met somewhere along the journey, and just be able to hit play and have that person live in my room for a moment, just sitting or standing next to me while I'm doing my thing, and I just listen to them. And I talk back, to nobody, but to myself, kind of. I laugh with them when they laugh, because, it's funny and you get to be in the room with each other. So I would like to make this into that, because then when I get to send my own, it feels nice. I get to be with that friend, and I honestly don't have to care that much about what you may or may not say or think about what it is that I say, whatever it is, because I'm allowed to do it, right? This is the story that I want to share. I was born and raised in North Carolina, in Raleigh. Went to school, certified to be a teacher, and I headed out immediately for California. Some crazy stuff went down when I was in college. That'll be another story, because I'm just going to give like an overall right now. And then I spent some time in regular school, standard schools, teaching science to high schoolers, before I decided to kind of go on my own journey. I had this idea that I'd come to understand in the end of college. It was this just the understanding. There was just a feeling that like the feeling was everything is connected. The understanding was everything is connected. That was the words that came. And my science teacher training / my brain connecting things gave me a very intricate network of how a lot of stuff in the universe, like in existence, is connected. Stuff that we made up, stuff that's natural, that kind of things. And so then I made this big thing about it. Like I made a textbook. It was an interconnected textbook about how your body, your brain, your society works. A bunch of brains get together, they make up some stuff called taxes, right? They created things. And how the universe works, and how it has like physics and chemistry that that have certain rules that we must abide by. That's living in this universe. We have gravity. We must abide by gravity. So I really enjoyed being able to zoom in and out of ideas, like individual moments. So like I headed out, you guys. Stuff happened in college. I was like, ooh, I gotta get out of here, because stuff happened before then, because classic, life. And those trees of North Carolina, I didn't have a good affinity for them at the time. I thought that they were choking like hallways. And so once I got out to the open, like Nebraska, big sky, and then Utah was, Utah, go to Utah, guys, go to Utah. Yeah, seeing the big sky and seeing how much space there actually is and how tiny I am and how big this place is, even with the amazing technology of, a car that's able to drive at 70 miles an hour for hundreds of miles. Like, that's nuts. It can just do that, and I have air conditioning the whole time. So remembering to zoom out was such a cool experience of kind of walking into this new world, right? I was in school. I didn't know what was going to happen at the end of school. I was pretty ready to just bleh, and a new purpose came to me. And going outside helped me to see what this world was. It's huge, you guys. It's huge. Right? So I went to California. I had some jobs there. Eventually I went to outdoor school, and I was teaching the kids this idea that everything's connected, using more simple words, using what we're already talking about, right? And just kind of sharing things from multiple perspectives. So, you see a tree, how can we see the perspective of what it once was? We see a smaller tree, or like what it will be eventually. We see a dead tree, and like how that's cool. We see it in a single moment in time. So I headed out, and I had this mission. I wanted to try and share this idea with the world. And I thought rent was it was a trap. It was so expensive that I needed a job to be able to afford it. I was a teacher, so I couldn't even do part-time, because teaching is always full-time. And it's like commitment for a full year. So I was like, oof. And so I avoided that by just going to the woods. I had heard a friend who said he was drunkenly yelling, "I'm tired of society. I'm just going to go out and live there with my son and get some water filter. It'd be good." I went out there with a solar panel water filter, as he suggested, and tried to live out in the woods and learned that, like, yeah, we go fast. People, humans, we go fast. The tree that sat there yesterday is going to sit there today, all day. And unless something stops it, it'll be there tomorrow. It's a tree. And being able to see things on a new perspective of, oh yeah, let's zoom out on the scale of time and how important things are. And I think that's a really, really valuable skill, to be able to recognize when something is or is not important. So here's a couple of the important bits of the journey so far. I'll go through, from the woods. I ended up going back to try and live in a house, my brother's house. I drove a ton. Eventually I went out to Colorado, wasn't able to teach there, so I went back to outdoor school. A lot of time alone, out in the woods again, family, friends, a lot of time alone in between. And it was very interesting to watch that we had a pandemic, and y'all remember this thing? Like, everybody decided to become isolated, not really by their own choice, but that's what then they did. They isolated. We isolated. We were told to, and we did it. And I had been doing this for 3 or 4 years. No, it was 3 years before the pandemic started. I'd just been isolating myself. and now everybody's doing what I was doing, right? Like I'd be out in the woods and I would be giving everybody like the space, like see, I see a deer or a rabbit or like a squirrel, like a snake or something, you give it the space. We would tell the kids, the thumb rule, the rule of thumb. You hold your thumb up, and if you cover the animal with your whole thumb, then you're a good distance away. Anyway, yeah, so like giving the people the space, giving the animals their space. I would go into the grocery stores in between forests in California, and I would see someone in the aisle, and I would be like, oh, I'll circle back because I'm going to give that person their space. One person in an aisle. And then COVID came and everybody started copying me. They're like, oh, one person's in that aisle again. I'll come back when it's completely empty. It's very interesting to watch that happen, and weird coincidence that I got a head start on it. Because you guys, isolation is a powerful, powerful tool. It's woo-wee. Because you can really get to you, the heart of it, and truly at the heart of you, obviously, with those words, at the heart of you is love. So I have lots of stories among this, but the story continued. Eventually I decided to leave. I ran off. I went to Australia, saw the other side of the world. Not so different, but also different. And then came back to try and teach. The universe did not want me to do that. So then I headed off to try and just find a life, find a way. I did outdoor school again, and the pandemic hit. So then again, I'm in my car and I'm tired. And after, I think it was October, I was like, I don't know what's going on. It is 2020. I'm going to go bunker down. And my brother was in Denver, so I headed over to Denver, and I lived there for a year. And I had kind of the intention of, like giving up a little bit of this. Not fully, but it was tough. I wanted to meet people. I wanted to not do what I did in the woods, which was fully isolate. And weirdly enough, the whole world decided to do the opposite of what I wanted to do at that time. Sorry about that if I am directly responsible for like the play of the universe being like, ha ha ha, Eddie doesn't get what he wants, everyone's inside now, right? Like, okay, so you guys, I went to a bar in January 2021 in Denver. I was going to this bar. I don't normally go to bars, but I was going there because I was like, I don't know how to meet people, how to make friends, so I'll just go to like a bar because people are there. And so I go up and I talk to the bouncer. The bouncer's like, you can only sit with your own group. And I'm like, I'm alone. And he's like, well, you can maybe sit there like on that bench and drink a beer alone. It wasn't the best pitch. Yeah, I just decided at a certain point, stars aligned. I decided to start exploring out of the country. So I continued, doing a solo journey, solo traveler style, but just out of the USA. Because there's just so much land in the USA. I was living in my car. I was just kind of doing it. So I've been traveling a while. I haven't really been settled into a typical life with a typical job for a bit. And the only time I did was when the whole world was different, right? I went down to Central America, and I can speak Spanish, so I was able to chill more with the local, like just the local vibe. I was mostly in a neighborhood. I was one of the only gringos, and it was nice to just kind of slow down, watch as the people sat in an arc, not in a circle, but an arc, so that the energy could flow out. So at any point, they're all watching the ocean or the forest or the mountain, and maybe you see a bird flying, and you're just kind of watching it, and somebody else is watching it, and you're both just watching it together. And you don't have to say anything, because nature's here. It's giving us a show. And then when you want to, you can. And then when you're done, you're done. And you don't owe anyone else any more words, because, hey, look, the show. And so I felt like I learned how to let go of the feeling of a responsibility to give, to do, a duty. I ended up, culminating that resistance of me, the stubborn resistance of saying I don't have a duty for anyone. And I actually went back to the States. I went to San Diego with a plan to put on a public show to get people to debate each other. That didn't happen. All these are different stories. And then I ran off to Asia. I saw Bali first. I got a sense of tourism on the scale in Asia that it is, with the money differences even bigger than what I had seen in Central America. But now, different cultures as well. I was able to then go to Thailand, and I found I found the magic there. I went to Asia so that I could learn magic. The woo-woo stuff that people talk about, the energy, the crystals, all the yogis, they all talk about this stuff. Not all of them, but we all know these people, these types, like in the American culture. This stuff, a lot of times, are called woo-woo. So I wanted to go and learn about that, but like keep my science side, because I was a science teacher. And so like I have learned how to combine this. And in Thailand, I learned how to speak, how to release it, how to let go and open up, just what I need to communicate. Music is a big help for me. Now it is, I just want to share. And honestly, the reason I want to share is because I want the healing that it gives me. I want that healing for you. That this healing allows me to release the things that I might be holding on to. And I am so, so happy and relieved at the opportunity to be able to release. Because good gosh, you guys, I just want to release. Right, so after Thailand, I went to New Zealand. I learned again, speak the voice louder. Good things happen. I met good people. I went back to USA, renewed my passport, get some money, and then to India. Well, if Central America was me letting myself, not feel guilty for existing, not feel like I had a duty to do, then India was me learning, if nobody's going to love me, I got to put this in myself. Good things come, but like I got to choose to give myself love and to remind myself that the things that are coming might still be good in a certain light. They might be bad in another light. But it's my choice how I want to see it, of what I allow into me. And now this idea of self-love that I was first introduced to in Central America, it started with a letting go of you're allowed to be you. And then I learned how to take responsibility with it, how to use it to take responsibility. I mean, I'm still, it's a work in progress. So like, rigidness, we'll get there. But yeah, like giving the love to yourself, actually remembering to give it. Exactly, we'll get there. Giving myself the time to not be on that rigid schedule. And I think that this self-love it's auto-generating is the word that comes to mind, right? So like, I have access to this source of auto-generating love, and so do you. And the only thing that's in the way is stuff that you can get rid of. You can like clear it out. And that process, it's a purge, right? You can get rid of it, but like you also are going to experience some of the feelings that might be connected to the things that are there in the way of that pure love that's coming out, because it's always there in you. And so we can talk about those. I have lots of stories and lots of words to talk about, because I was performing in India and I can see the power of my voice, and I want to share it with you, my new best friend. You are now going to be my best friend. That's fun. I can tell you about some of the adventures. Yeah. I'll go into some more details. Should we go in chronological order? No, I'll just pick out some pictures. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right, I'll talk to y'all next time.